Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Tiger Nexus podcast. Or if this is your first time checking it out, welcome to the Tiger Nexus podcast. I'm your host, Tiger. Now, this specific episode here is actually part 2 of a two-parter, so please make sure you check out part 1, which was last week's episode. Now, this specific episode, I had to tuck into 2 different episodes because we recorded for almost 3 hours and a half, which was my longest recording session yet. This episode I'm hosting, I have 2 guests, the host of the Scarabic Enterprise gaming channel, Scarab, and then his editor, Stine, who, they're both great people. I've been subscribed to the channel for a very long time. I've been following these guys for a very long time, a good handful of years. So make sure you go check out their channel after checking out this podcast. Of course, this is part 2. So there's already been a part 1 for you guys to listen to. But if you're ready to go, I'm going to start off this episode with the last thing you guys would have heard in the last episode, which was Scarab reading off his biography for the Enterprise, the umbrella blurb that he's got for his studio, and I'll leave it for Scarab to start that off for this specific episode. I hope you guys enjoy. Of course, don't forget to check out the rest of the podcast. Subscribe to Scarabic Enterprises, is his gaming channel. He's an awesome dude, and on with the episode.
Welcome to the Tiger Nexus podcast, a place where you'll find interviews with content creators and geeks alike. Your host, Tiger, has delved upon the Nexus and found interesting content creators and geeks of all fandoms. This podcast is connected to the Zero Hero Network, and now we dive in with another episode!
If you're interested, I can read you the Heavy Heart Digital mission statement.
Yeah, go on.
All right. Here at Heavy Heart Digital, we make unique games from original ideas. Some inspired by a whole host of media, such as video games and movies. Others inspired by actual events or even dreams. We don't want to copy any formula that has been previously done 100 times. If we ever feel as though our games aren't breaking the mold, we will introduce new elements and factors to keep our players engaged. Our key focus is to create games with a solid single-player experience. Everything else comes second to that. That being said, say goodbye to microtransactions, paid DLC, and shady business practices. We aim to give you the games you paid for, complete with no extra costs. Any future content developed for our games after release will be marked as DLC and will be completely free and optional. If you like the games as they were originally designed, you can choose to enjoy the vanilla experience or turn on the DLC when you want to change it up. The choice is and will always be yours. Every game that we release now and forever will be sold for less than what we think they're worth due to the fact that we want you to enjoy our games and still be able to afford a pizza, because pizza is awesome. We love individuality, a deep narrative, freedom of choice, and customization. Most of all, we love you. Thank you for supporting Heavy Art Digital, where you are more than just player one.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah. So, cool. Yeah, Heavy Art Digital. If you guys want to check us out, we are available on Patreon. That's the best way to find us. Patreon.com/Scarabic Enterprises. That's SCARABIC Enterprises. And that's where to help support us. We've actually uploaded a bunch of videos. Sorry, not videos. We've uploaded a bunch of, I've forgotten where I was. Oh, posts that were screenshots of the bank account that we have set aside specifically for Scarabic Enterprises projects. So anytime we need funding for programs or the hard copy of a CD or any of the above mentioned things for a board game, a video game, or music, we'll be dipping into that. But right now we sit at, let me quickly check, as of recording this, we have not touched this pool of money, and we have already saved, because I've been putting money aside into it as well, $372.39 Australian. And that is that has not been touched. And we upload evidence of that because there's a lot of game companies out there now that are sort of, they do this whole bait and switch So they're like, here, we'll shake a fake game in front of you. We'll take all your money and then we'll never make it and leave. So we upload frequent updates to the current status of the account, and anything we buy with the account, we release the receipts of that and why we needed it, like an explanation. So like, for example, if I was to purchase, I don't know, FL Studio or something to make the music for the game, so then I can, save and do everything, because I've only got the free version now, but I plan on getting it at some point. But once I'm up to developing the music for the games and needing loops and everything like that, then I'll purchase that. I'll take a picture of the email that is the confirmation of that purchase, and then I'll take a picture of the account and obviously black out the numbers. We don't want to get hacked. But that
would be good.
Exactly. But like, we put that out there. We let people know we are very transparent, and we will never take anyone's money without a good reason to do so. So supporting us on Patreon, all tiers are equal, so you can pay what you feel or what you can afford if you want to support the project. And we've also got something called shadow tiers, so people that don't want their names displayed in every video can be put up as a tally instead, so you can actually support us in private. So that is available to everyone. So if you guys want to be a part of that, check us out. And otherwise, it's just knee deep in game development. Hopefully I'll get to a stage where I can release a Steam page, and after that, let's hope we can get a bunch of wish lists and stuff. But I feel this first game is going to have a lot more longevity, or at least a better shelf life, than the game that I was originally going to create for the first game. Because that game needs a little bit more attention, because it's very close to home. I'm using a track that my mother never recorded, but invented as the main theme. It's a story, a narrative that she approved of, obviously while she was alive, not while she died. So it's very close to my heart. I was a teenager. I only had a 3-pager, and she said, turn it into a novel. So I did one better. I'm turning it into a video game. But because of my ambitious nature, and because of how close it is to my heart, it may be a little it might have a little less of a shelf life, but it's going to be one of those experiences that I think that people are going to return to every now and then, rather than just play over and over and over. It's more of a interactive story, or interactive not a visual novel or anything, but like an interactive story, interactive movie style game with puzzles and whatever else. But that is going to be the second game, not the first game, because I need to level up my pixel art skills, as well as there is a lot more features and levels and designs and things that merge into each other that is a little bit more complex than the game that I'm creating now. But the game I'm creating now is designed for replayability. So I hope that everyone can enjoy that when it does eventually come out. But I'll just say this: I've already got characters, I've got an environment, and I've got a narrative, a strong narrative, and also I've already figured out the path the decisions need to go. So there, customization, just as proven in my mission statement as well. It's at the forefront of my mind. I want to make games that I want to play.
Yeah, well, backtracking a second to when you said about Patreon and things, I've been tempted to do Patreon, because I'm kind of similar. I have different, like you used the word umbrella. I kind of have an umbrella. I have lots of different things, and there's so much stuff that I do, so much stuff that goes on in the background that no one sees, and like I get asked a lot of questions about stuff, and I think it'd be kind of cool if I could show off that without putting up front, if that made sense. So people want to know, because I do artwork as well. I'm not great at it. I'm learning, but I kind of put it on YouTube, and people want to know how that goes. And people are always asking questions about my stories and things like this. And
you just need
voice actors.
Tease it, put it in your videos, and just be like, oh, you want to see more of this? Then pop up over to the Patreon. And then
that's what I kind of want to do.
Make it a low cost.
Because my friend's got a Patreon, and his is a low cost as well, and he's doing all right with it.
Because ours is $1 USD, which is the minimum you could do, and I just wanted to make sure that there's no real gatekeeping. Obviously, the gatekeeping is needing to monetize it in general, but it's it's just supporting the developer. That's it. Like, that's the whole point of it, is like, yeah, I could chip in $1 every month, you know, that sort of thing, rather than it being, you know, if you want to, like, even Stine, like, my editor is subscribed to our Patreon because she believes in our projects.
Yeah, and I support you on Twitch as well. I have supported you since you started Twitch, like and 4 years ago.
The funny thing is, she edits for me and doesn't get paid a dime.
Yeah.
She pays me to edit for my videos.
I mean, to be fair, you do give me a couple of games sometimes. So
I do, yeah. But the thing is, as well, because Stine and I are equal partners in the channel now, because like I basically taught her everything she knows when it comes to, you know, making Let's Plays, but she sort of spurred off, started doing her own thing as well. Together, like, because we've got so many videos together, like, there is no, like, the channel is ultimately mine, but any money that we get goes to both of us. So even like the video games that I produce, the board games that I release, anything. Stine isn't just an editor. She is also Scarabic Enterprise's promotional manager. She is the person that oversees everything. I run all my ideas past her. She is the, we should do this, no, we shouldn't do this, maybe you should try something else, or whatever else. Like, she's essentially my consigliere.
Yeah.
So the very first thing I got from this conversation is, right, I need to get myself a goddamn editor. God damn.
Well, I mean, I had to train this one, so if you got the patience.
Yeah.
I don't like people, so maybe not. I actually wanted to ask Stine you a question. Going back to getting a bit of flack on the internet, getting a bit of hate on the internet and stuff. You've mentioned that, you know, you're quite shy. You know, you've had a bit of an English barrier. You had to learn kind of like how Scarab talks in a sense. Has that ever, like, have you ever received negative attention for all of that, or like has that kind of been okay for you?
Not at all. No, nothing. Thankfully.
She gets it from me all the time. God damn it, Stine.
Yes. Yeah, there's
a meme on the channel
running around. Every time I like, every time there was a few months.
Every time.
Like, when we streamed a lot, like 3-4 years ago, I ended up messing up a lot in games because I didn't know them, so I was basically a noob, and he like teased me a lot.
Absolutely.
And when I messed up in a game,
not for being a noob, for jumping on my fucking head while I'm AFK.
Yes, just because I was being silly and I wanted to have some fun. Then he was like, "God damn it, Stine," and I was like, "I just want to have fun."
Yeah.
Like,
so now
it doesn't have to be serious all the time.
Doesn't matter what we're playing. Yeah, it's a playful nature. Like, some people might think that it's like incredibly aggressive, but it's like we are both fine with it.
It's playful, it's because, like, and I think it's funny too.
Like, it's just these things that Stine does that is just so counterproductive to what the end goal is. So I'm like, all right, cool, we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna all right, let's play Raft, and I'm down there and I'm killing the shark, and I'm like, all right, I've got the shark, don't worry about it, I'll let you know when it's dead. And then Stine jumps in the water, distracts the shark, and now I'm missing, and then I get hit, and I'm just like, oh my god, you have just completely ruined my plan. So god damn it, Stine, you know, that sort of thing.
And I just wanted to help.
Or I'm AFK, and then all of a sudden she's just like bobbing next to my crotch, and I'm just like, why are you eating my ass? Like, stop it! It's weird. You know, so like a lot of playful stuff, or but then I start getting back at her. So like if we're playing like Stardew Valley or something, I'll just be like, all right, cool. So I'm gonna do this. You water the crops, and then I just leave. And then it's just like, now I'm stuck watering the crops, and I intentionally do it knowing that like her watering can is in the shop, so she can't water the crops, and then I have to get her to argue the point for me to come back. So like, yeah, little things like that. Like we sort of stab at each other every now and then, but it's all in good fun.
Yeah, banter.
And God damn it, Stina needs to be
Yes.
on the t-shirt. Coming soon.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that's see, because like I was just curious because like I've known people that English is their second language, or they've had to learn certain phrases and stuff, and they just get so much hate, and it's ridiculous. Going back to the hate side of things a second, it's just so much negativity for the fact that English isn't second nature, and it's just like, well, you do realize that not every single country speaks English, right? That kind of like how the world spins.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird how you're hating how the world literally functions, but hey, you do you.
Actually, Stina makes more fun of me because of language than I do of her, and that's because Danish is incredibly hard to pronounce. So Stina constantly tries to get me to say asshole in Danish, which is røvhul. I don't know. What?
Røvhul.
I think I'm saying it, but I'm not. And then we'll just constantly. So now we're just swearing in Danish on your channel.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
Like we're trying to. She's trying to like teach me how to say certain things, and like Danish is a wonderfully complex language, but because Hungarian was my first language. I'm half Hungarian, quarter Sri Lankan, quarter Portuguese. So like Hungarian is my first language, and I didn't understand English till I was about like 3 or 4. And I was raised in Australia. I was born in Australia, but I didn't speak the language till I was like 3 or 4. Or at least I'll be able to understand it properly. So it was a very interesting upbringing, having a hybrid of Hungarian and English, but I can understand and speak and sort of learn different linguistic, especially European linguistics. But then all of a sudden, I can't because Danish is not a part of anything that is familiar to my brain.
No, completely different.
Because it uses different parts of the mouth, different parts of your throat and everything. Like I think I'd be able to pick up like a Middle Eastern language a lot easier than Danish, only because like I guess you could say like a Middle Eastern language and Scottish, like the accent with the and all of that is sort of like they sort of go together, and I know how to do that. Because European, that's how they grunt in despair. They're like, that sort of thing. So I already know how to replicate that. Whereas in Danish, like, listen to this.
Like, you should be able to, like, with the sound, like, røvhul. Like, you should be able to say it, but like, we've tried so many times, you cannot say it right.
Yeah, Danish to me is like a mix between like Germanic language as well as like a Norwegian. It's like German meets Norwegian.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I'm from England. I've born and raised in England, but we moved to Wales, which literally, obviously, they're right next door to each other. But we moved to Wales when my sister was born, and I've lived here since, and the Welsh language still boggles me. I had to learn it in school. I've forgotten all of it. How the fuck people talk Welsh, I don't know. But it's kind of something similar. My fiance as well. She was born and bred in Wales, and she has the Welsh accent, and there's certain I'll mock her for certain things because she doesn't say no. She goes no. She adds like another like 3 O's and an A. So in the general chat on Discord, I've just sent a word. I want you both to try to pronounce that word.
Oh.
In the general chat on the Discord.
Hang on, I don't know Welsh when it comes to
just try and say it how you think you'd say it.
Hang on, before I do, I want to know, does Welsh have a heavy R like Irish or Scottish people say?
Not really. But yeah, just let me know what you think that says.
Like try to pronounce it? Oh.
Yeah, just how would you think you'd say it?
Abahonda.
So here's the really funny thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. So for people who don't know, I've just given them a word that is spelled ABERHONDDU. Now that is a town that is quite close to me. The actual town's called Brecon. That's the English word for it, is Brecon. Really easy to say. Now I grew up going to back and forth to Brecon quite often. It's the closest town. It's where we do our shopping, all that stuff. Now, I said what you said, Aberhondu. That's how I thought it was pronounced. Until one day I get a lift from my mother's house to the town, and someone goes, "Oh, you live in Aberhonddu, don't you?" I was like, "I'm sorry, what? Aberhonddu? Brecon? Aberhonddu? What alien language is this?" Yes, the word that you just tried to pronounce is Aberhonddu, because double D is the. It makes no flipping sense to me.
Yeah.
So that is actually Aberhonddu, and I'm like, how the fuck is that That is Aberhonddu. What the hell are you talking about?
I mean, that's just like trying to learn Gaelic as well. It's just like, what the fuck, and why are the vowels so completely like backwards? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it. There's certain times we'll drive somewhere, and my fiance's like, "Oh yeah, we're going back." I was like, "Excuse me, what did you just say, or did you have a stroke? Which one?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So someone just has a spasm, and they're just like, "Well, that's a language now."
Yeah.
I say that to her. I was like, you do realise when the Welsh language was invented, someone was having an epileptic fit, was writing a bunch of stuff down. They made that the Welsh language. You know that, right?
Whereas Hungarian is incredibly pleasant. It's just a very nice language to. It sort of rolls off the tongue, and it's very phonetic. There's not a lot of the issues that come with English, where you've got fucking GH, F, PH, and I don't know. Like, so many for, you know what I mean? Like, so many for the F sound, and it's just ridiculous. Hungarian doesn't really have a lot of that, or at least the formal Hungarian doesn't. So it's just sort of really nice. Like you would just say Magyarország, Jorvan. It's just, I don't know, it's just so pleasant sounding, as opposed to a lot of other neighboring countries like German, which I still think is a beautiful language. I just think it sounds really fucking funny when someone is screaming in German.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's so harsh. It's just such a harsh language.
Yeah.
That it's like,
brutal.
I would say the same about Japanese. Like you could say that the Japanese language is very harsh, but if you're listening to like a kung fu movie or something that is like an old man samurai, like yeah, that's what it's going to sound like. But the Japanese language itself can be spoken quite softly and sound very nice. For example, the kawaii that everyone is into these days, like that just sounds really, really like, ichimasu, that sort of thing. Like they're very upbeat, and it's not like in your face. So language, depending on context as well, and depending on region and like everything, including like you were just saying, like moving from where you're from to Wales, like the dialect is going to be a lot different. The language is going to have some sort of a barrier, and sometimes you need to get used to the affliction or the street signs or the anything. But that sort of comes with travel, or just especially living in the internet world today, because we're all connected. Like right now, we are currently in, well, I guess, where is Welsh?
In the UK, so I'm
just
still
UK.
in the UK.
So UK, Australia, and Daneland. So I had to say it
Denmark.
wrong just to annoy you. So yeah, we're in 3 different countries right now, but we're all talking and we're able to understand each other in English. But that's the thing. I think that English is the universal language that everyone sort of gets to know. And but still, certain parts of Ireland that are speaking English, you will not be able to understand a fucking word they say. You ever seen that Irish farmer?
That's fat. I've met a few Irish people, and I'm just like, excuse me, can you like talk extremely slow into my Google Translate? Cheers.
Oh yeah, there's a parts of Denmark where I can barely understand it, so it's very different from where you are.
That's the interesting thing as well, because like I've never really heard different dialects of Danish or Germanic.
I'll show you. It's fucking hilarious.
Okay.
So I'm speaking the mother language, and like certain parts of Danish is more like, Snobby sounds more snobby. It's not, but and then there's other parts where it's more where they talk like a farmer, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can show you something. It's funny.
It's sort of like, yeah, and people get like a lot of misunderstandings for language as well. Like you find like stereotypes that some people say,
yes.
like Indian people are rude or something, you know, and it's like, no, they're just in their culture, they're very direct people. They're not actually being rude. It's just the English speaking people find them rude because they're not used to people being so direct. So it really depends on where you're from and the culture that you know you're speaking to know exactly what the intention lies behind the words that they speak. So they could, you know, they could be very critical and very rude in the eyes of someone who is unfamiliar with the way that these people operate, whichever country or origin they hail from. But like, you know, wherever they are, like in their homeland, that's just like, you know, this is just casual speak. Where I guess you could say, especially in England, you would know that it's very, very much to be polite. You need to be polite. You need to take the piss out of yourself, but you do not want to be seen as the hero. You always want to be, you know, you have a level of humility. That is the nature of the English, right?
Yep.
All right, so I grew up on The Young Ones and Rick Mayall and Adrian Edmondson. I fucking love them. So I understand English humor. But the thing is that, let's say, for people who are incredibly polite, you will see a messy house or things that are a little bit out of place. You won't mention it out of being polite. Whereas, let's say, like an Indian couple that has only been in the country for a couple of years might just be like, wow, this place is a mess, you should clean it. And you'd just be like, oh, wow, how dare you? You know, you might get taken back by that. But the thing is, they're just going, this could use a spot of cleaning. They're just trying to be helpful. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I think that culture and language is very important. And I think that being in the position that we're in now, in the world of technology and the internet, is opening up the avenues and opening up the borders between all of the countries, at least in the ways of communication. I think that it's very important to understand cultures and to try to learn from each other rather than try to destroy, because we see a lot of that these days where people are destroying each other because of differences or this or that or whatever, you know, not getting into any of the modern day conflicts, but just saying it's been going on for a very, very long time where one side is angry at another side, or you're friends with this person, so I don't like you because you're friends with this person, but then 20 years ago we were friends, and then, you know, like all of the conflicts that have ever happened in the world, or I believe in this, you believe in that. It doesn't fucking matter. The thing is, we live in an age of technology and the internet. We should be above this by now, where we can just communicate, see eye to eye, and go, look, you can do what you want. I don't give a fuck. Just make sure it doesn't affect other people in a negative way. If it's not hurting anyone, it's all good. Like, we just need to like get along. Just stop fucking around. Stop hurting other people, and just you know, learn to just appreciate each other's values. Some people have a weird culture in terms of your culture, but in their eyes, you're fucking weird. I mean, there's people out there that put orange juice on their breakfast cereal instead of milk. And then there's other people who think drinking milk is an abomination and that should be shunned for it. And like that, there's like, it doesn't matter where you go, there's always going to be conflict. There's always going to be opinion-based prejudice. So whether it's on the surface level or on a deeper level, what we all need to do is just come together and shut the fuck up. But
I think one of my favorite conversations about like this sort of stuff was actually with my son. He's 5, and he started school in September, just gone, and he's really enjoying school and stuff. And one of his friends is African American, and his name's Jordan. He's an absolutely awesome kid. But one day, and this is like early September, so Logan's only been in school for a couple of weeks by this point. We meet my family in town, we're all getting food together and stuff, and we walk past this shop, And Logan stops and he points at something. He's like, oh, that's the same color as Jordan because Jordan's black. That's his exact sentence. Now there's this like couple next to me and they're giving me the daggers of order, like they're giving me evil stares because my child has just come out with, this is the same color as Jordan, Jordan's black. That's his exact sentence. But I'm looking at
That's
as
an observation.
He's a 5-year-old kid. He's 5. You know, he's at this point he's 4. He's not 5 at this point, but he is 5 now. But he was 4. So like I kneel down to his level. I'm like, oh yeah, mate, and I explained to him that, you know, some people, you know, are African American. They have darker skin. There's some people like me and him that are a bit, you know, more of a white with a slight tan, and you know, some people look different because they're from like Asia or something. We talk about, and I'm literally deliberately doing it in front of this couple as well because they are glaring at me like no effing, like if looks could kill, I'd be buried 6 foot deep. But because my child decided to say something so innocent,
how old was he at the time again?
4 years old.
If they're glaring at you because he's 4 years old and he said that, then they're the ones with the problem, not you.
Exactly. And it's
because
like,
they're thinking of it in a way that is inappropriate, whereas your child is making an observation. If someone is the color of a mud cake, they are the color of a mud cake. It is a part of the color spectrum that we all see. That is not a insult. That is an observation. There is a reason that some people like one of my favorite jokes from any horror movie was, do you want something hot and black inside you? When he's in Alien, when he's talking about coffee, but he's also flirting at the same time. So you know what I mean?
Totally forgot that.
Yeah, but like that's just it's a play on words. It's racial, but the thing is that the African American or the black community, whatever you want to, whichever bracket of that community that you want to get into, like they refer to themselves as chocolate or coffee or ebony or, you know, all of the above terms, but like they're not stupid. They know that their skin color is the color of other things. You know what I mean? If your skin same, like I would say that if there is a person whose skin color is the exact same color as the bark of a tree, they would take their shirt off and they would pose against the tree and be like, "Hey man, I'm camouflage." You know, I would guarantee you that has happened. Because that's the type of shit that people do, because deep down we're all just human. So like I don't think that it's racist or inappropriate to make an observation. I think that it would be inappropriate if it was if it was designed, if there was malicious intent. If there's no malicious intent, then there's no issue. So those people looking at your child or judging you as a parent because your child made an observation, well, you're rewarding the child by saying, yeah, fucking A, that is exactly, you're correct. That is the same shade. You know, you're learning colors. Good job. You're 4 years old. You as a parent should not be shunned for celebrating a child's mental development. So it's like, yeah, okay, cool. It's on an edgy subject, but he's 4. How the fuck would he know that?
Yeah, exactly. And like in that moment, I took it in as, you know,
like I'm in deep shit. These people are judging me, right?
Well, no, not really. I kind of laughed at them because in my head, Logan is 4. At the time he was 4. He's now 5. But at the time he was 4, and I'm just gonna be honest. He's never really hung out with someone who's African American or who is Korean or anything like. He's only known his mother's side of the family and my parents. That's literally it. Because Logan's first 3 years of his life was very enclosed because of COVID and all that stuff. So like, you know, he didn't have a chance to explore humans and things like this. When he first goes to a school and he does see someone who's different than him and he sees something that reminds him of that, you know, he wants to make the observation and he wants to talk to me about it. I'm like, yeah, dude, absolutely. And I made it a thing of explaining to him that, yeah, there are people that are different, that look different hair colors, different eye colors. You know, some people have piercings, some people don't. You know, look at, because his my stepmom's, his step grandmother likes to dye her hair, so I mentioned that. His grandmother's covered in tattoos, so I mentioned that. And all sorts of stuff. I mean, I had this conversation purposely in front of these two that were glaring at me, and I'm like, you do realize this child is 4 years, he is innocent as all fuck. That's literally all it was. And to this day, him and said kid are best friends. They are bestest of friends now. They're on the school bus together and everything. And it's just like, I don't understand why people have to automatically judge. And it's just like, I don't know, I guess I just come from a place of like, I've been bullied my entire life and I don't like bullies very well. And
your child's
I get
Caucasian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to face, and this is something you're going to have to deal with, he's going to face prejudice anyway, but only because things have sort of flipped on the scale societal-wise, where white people are really badly being ridiculed at the moment.
Yep.
So hopefully that by the time he's of age to understand all of these sorts of things, that dies down a little bit, but right now there is like just a ridiculous amount of white hate, which is, it doesn't make much sense as to them hating people because of the color of their skin, because of the history of that color of skin. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. So someone's great-great-great-grandparents did a horrible thing, so now they're responsible directly? It's like, I'm half white, but I'm olive-skinned, right? So does that mean that I'm half racist because I'm half white? Like, that, I don't understand the mentality of these people. They're so closed-minded. They're so left-wing that they end up becoming right-wing. And that's something that I've observed. That's why I've distanced myself politically from pretty much everything. I would say that I'm more left-leaning than anything. I don't want to get into politics. I just wanted to say, like, I'm more left-leaning than anything. I used to, like, stand up for, like, animal rights and, equal rights, feminism, all that sort of stuff. And now all of these buzzwords have, like, really bad connotations. The animal rights activists are supporting people who kill more than they save. I'm not going to name companies or anything. They don't deserve any sort of thing. But like all of the things that I believed in have sort of turned into this completely other beast, and that like the left are more censorship oriented, which used to be a right-wing thing to do if you think about World War II, the way the propaganda worked. So it's a little bit weird that the left have now become the fascist right. And I'm only saying like the extreme left, not just saying like left people in general. But it's a trend that I've seen grow recently, and it scares me, because if the right are starting to make sense, then the world is fucked. So I don't know. I'm a little bit scared, to be honest, for the future of the human race. Because we're all intolerant now to everyone. Yeah. It's like, we're inclusive. Unless you don't subscribe to our mentality exactly, then you're an outcast and we hate you. It's like, that's not very inclusive, is it?
So going back to your content, one question I wanted to ask you, because I think it was actually one of the first things I ever liked about your channel, because I want to know your intro. And I don't know if it's changed that much. I know that you have different varieties of your intro, because
there's one main one that I've kept from the very beginning. Good morning, fellow Winter peeps. I am Scarab, your Scarabic Enterprises. Welcome to my channel. Hope you're having a wonderful time. Let me know what you're doing in the comments, and today we are going to be playing a game.
Yep. And then you've also got that little clip that you showed, don't you, where like
those
your logo pops up.
Yeah,
the animation.
I edited those. Stina does a lot of editing, but I edit all the intros, outros, and little bits and bobs that we stick in the middle of videos. I don't feel like it's necessary to get all the credit for that, so I don't put it in the description. But all the tidbits, all the like the brand associated animations and stuff, I create.
So where did you get your idea for the animation part? Because your intro's like your logo pops up, the screen falls off, and then like
it gets shot and then falls off and then explodes and
So like where did you get the idea for that?
Well, I always saw the channel as sort of like as if it was like a TV show. I remember especially like, 6-7 years ago, the YouTubers always had an intro, right? They always had something to have. And despite the fact that people have been dropping that off, I just kept it. The thing that inspired the whole thing, I guess, I don't know. Very early on, there was always a TV. So I've always seen the channel as like a TV show, something you tune in to watch because it comes out on a daily basis or a weekly basis now it's a bi-weekly basis sort of thing. But it's always just been a TV show to me. So like I'm an entertainer. I entertain. I'm acting. So I'm up there doing whatever I'm doing. Stina edits it. We upload it, and like it still goes through the same process as a TV show would. It's just a little less budgeted, I guess you could say. But
Yeah.
the whole, it being a TV is like, it's sort of like Inception. You're looking at a TV that is looking at a TV that is displaying what you're watching, but then that gets destroyed, and then you're watching what that is. So it's like, I don't know, it sort of takes you in and brings you out of like a cyber reality. I always liked the shooting of the TV. I think it might be cliche. I think I saw, it might have even stole it from The Simpsons if I'm thinking about it, because
I just saw an episode with it.
There's a clip where I think there was like a cowboy or something. He shoots the TV in one of maybe it was a Treehouse of Horror episodes. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but
maybe. Yeah.
There's an episode where a TV gets shot. And I don't know. Maybe I took it from there. I honestly can't recall. I just I like experimenting when I'm editing. And one of the things that I found with bullet holes.
There's definitely what at the end of the couch gag, there's a TV that falls off the screen. I've definitely seen that, but it's, I don't know if you.
I don't think I took that from The Simpsons. No, but the cowboy shooting the TV, definitely. I've seen that growing up.
Yeah.
But like I don't tend to steal content or anything. But the channel itself's logo has always been there. That big SG Scarabic Gaming is still there. It's just different now. It's got its own like little rainbow elite sort of badge now. But then you got the logo popping up, the 2 gunshots. And I think that's because I also played a lot of FPS shooters back in the day. So I was just like, like Demolition Ranch has their logo being shot. You got a whole bunch of others that do that sort of stuff. But I mean, I'm not a gun tuber or anything, but I do have a fascination with firearms. But I don't know. It's just like, action packed. It keeps your attention. Something's happening. And it was also a fun little experiment to do over time. Up until this point, where I feel like it's nice and comfortable where it is at the moment. But I used to change it up frequently, and we still have multiple variations of it. There's probably at least 25 variations of that opening intro, as well as outro animations.
Because I remember watching, I think it's one of your vlogs, and when the animation came up, the screen falls and stuff, the little sparks happen, you actually had vlog on there. I was like, hey, cool, he's actually changed the intro animation. That's actually kind of neat.
That's the thing. I don't draw a lot of attention to it. I want people to discover that on their own. And if something that you haven't noticed now is when the TV gets shot down and it falls, then the lights fade, and it's like a movie projector goes onto the wall. So you go from looking at a TV screen to it being blown up to looking at a projection.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. I've
always breaking the mold,
I've always liked your intro because you're like quite energetic, explosive on screen for the first couple of minutes. You're talking about what you're doing and stuff. Intro animation's quite like, like you said, it's comfortable, but it's also quite like flashy. It's quite nice. It's a decent intro, and then it's just like you get into
we shortened it to about 19 seconds as opposed to where it used to be about a full minute. Don't watch the full minute one; it is so cringe.
But that's one thing I've always liked about. There's one thing I've always liked about your channel. To be fair, is your intro and with the intro animation and stuff.
Well, the thing is, if you care about what you do, you're going to try to make it as best quality as you can. And
of course, yeah.
sometimes you need to throw some shit out into the wilderness just to keep on schedule. But outside of that, we try not to make a habit of it. But there's a few situations, especially when you need to make time for personal life, or for example, now I'm currently making a video game, right? So I've got a stream of a game that I completed. And there's been some requests for long form content on the channel. And as we do, we're a variety channel. So we have short form, heavily edited content. We've got gaming content. We've got vlogs. We've got music video and long form content as well. So yeah, every now and then we'll splash in a few long form content videos. And I feel like this stream that I'll be uploading, I believe is coming out in 6 hours from now. No, about 6 hours from now. That is the first installment of that. Like I made 2 streams. I think I can make about 6 to 8 videos out of it, but I just cut out all the bullshit, and then it's a narrative. It's a narrative story. It's The Quarry, if you've seen The Quarry.
Yeah, I know what The Quarry is.
Yeah, so it's my let's play of that over the stream of 2 streams. But they're not really edited the way that we normally edit the videos, but people have been asking for longer videos. They've been asking for some long form content, and I haven't been releasing the... Fuck, I forgot the name of the game again. What was that game, Stina? The one with the zombies and the motorbike? Fuck.
Oh, Days Gone.
Days Gone, yeah. I haven't been releasing any Days Gone content because I've just been busy and I've been out of it, and now I'm completely out of whack and I don't know what's going on in the game. So I've sort of just let it go away silently. I was gonna beat the game, but I just stopped. I just stopped.
Let it fade into the void. Yeah.
Sometimes if you lose interest in a video game, you just got to move on. And if there's enough demand for it, then I'll bring it back. But at the moment, people are way more into Traveler's Rest, Stardew Valley, and our extraction shooter videos.
Yeah, shooters. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to make more like narrative based, long form content, but I also don't want to just bombard my channel with unedited bullshit. But sometimes you need to do that. Like I see it as unedited bullshit. Other people see it as, oh, finally, we can actually see everything that's happening, and it's not just Scarab's face in the way. You know, so, I think that some people will appreciate it. Some people will unsubscribe because of it. But that's the nature of YouTube. We're a variety channel. If you don't like it, fuck off. That's always been our attitude. We accept everybody, but if you don't accept us, then, well, I mean, that's your own prerogative. So, like, I think that, like, you could say that that's a bad way to think, but it's just when you're thinking about like a business or an overarching, model that we've got. Like Scarabic Enterprise is an umbrella. We've got other shit to do. We can't just make videos all the time. As a matter of fact, the content that we've been creating, the gaming content, releasing 2 videos a week, to me personally, is an insult, because we should be doing up to 5 a week in my eyes because of the type of content that we're creating. But we've been sort of carefully crafting the content, especially on Stina's side, where the videos are recorded a little bit longer, so it takes a little bit longer to edit as well. So it's usually... I used to make like 40-minute videos and we'd cut that down, but recently it's been about an hour and a half to an hour and a half video long. So she has to cut that down to about 25 minutes, and that can be very time consuming, because you got to decide what's necessary. You got to figure out exactly what you want to show people. And while she's doing that, I'm busy doing other things. Like I have a life to live. I've got videos to record. I've got my own side of editing that I need to do, and I'm also working on this game full time. And I really want that to release sooner rather than later. So I'm sort of busy. I'm too busy to spend too much time in the editing booth. And I think that like making the game show videos was like my final hurrah for a little while. I'm still going to be doing things here and there when I need a break, but I think that YouTube is going to be on the back burner for me, so I'm going to be relying pretty heavily on Creative Stina to pick up some of the slack, just because I'm not going to be available. So that's one of those things. If things are a little bit hard for Stina to do and she's got, some shit happening in her life, she gives me a heads up. I take over for a little while. If things are, heavy in my life, I hand it over to her and we sort of just ping pong our way through YouTube and hope that one day enough people notice the amount of effort that we actually do put in.
Hey there everybody, I wanted to dive in here real quick and just tell you guys that I have a couple of gaming channels myself. I specifically wanted to tell you guys about Tiger Offline. It's a gaming channel where it doesn't follow any form of structure or routine. It's a gaming channel where I'm just going to be uploading any form of gaming content that I want to record. I have a channel dedicated to story walkthroughs, where I'm playing a game from beginning to end and showcasing its story. Then I have a channel dedicated to multiplayer online gameplay, playing games with other people using the internet. But then there's the gameplay where it doesn't follow a structure, it doesn't follow a storyline, it's not multiplayer. There are plenty of games where there's different modes, different things to showcase that I want to play, and there's certain games that, again, don't have a storyline. They're all going on to Tiger Offline. So there's things like Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, showcasing off different suits within the Batman Arkham games and the Insomniac Spider-Man games. There's also things like unlocking all the LEGO characters in LEGO games, and things like showcasing 2 different characters in fighting games fighting each other, stuff like that. It's all sorts of content, there's all different types of games as well. We've just started the channel very recently, and also we've started off with showcasing the Insomniac Spider-Man game series, Spider-Man suits, non-commentary videos for this, but you get to delve into the videos and explore the Spider-Man suits. You get to see Spider-Man swing through the city and take down some bad guys. And when I say Spider-Man, I'm including Peter Parker and Miles Morales. This channel delves into commentary and non-commentary gameplay, all different types of videos. If it's not multiplayer online content and not a story-driven walkthrough, you'll find the gameplay on this channel. So make sure you go check it out after you listen to this podcast episode. Give it a like on the videos, and of course subscribe so you don't miss a video. And if you hit that notification bell so you don't miss another one, that'd be awesome. And of course, it shows your support to my channel. Thanks guys for listening to me ramble on for gone 2 minutes. I'll let you guys get back to the podcast and enjoy the rest of the episode.
Difficult, man.
How it works.
I think a lot of these, I'm not talking millions of subscriber content creators, because obviously they have a team and all that jazz, but I'm talking about anyone under 1 million easily. I think some of us content creators kind of need to learn when to take a break, when to step back, when to take a breath from doing the actual content itself, because my PC actually kicked the bucket last week. It just wouldn't update anymore. There's no way to fit. It's a very, very old PC. It's easily in the double digits by now. So me and my mate were yeah, I need to get a new PC. So we kind of found a PC that I could get. It works fantastically. It does everything I need it to do. But because of the lack of PC, getting a new PC, waiting it to come through, setting it all up and stuff, my gaming channel hasn't been touched now in over a week. I haven't been able to record or upload anything for 7 days. So mentally, I've stressed out about it. I'm oh no, I've been uploading a gaming video Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I've managed to get so good, decent videos out, and I've managed to complete games better than I did 5 years ago, stuff like this. And now there's a whole week of no content, and I'm sat I had to argue with myself of, oh my god, it's so bad, oh my god, I've missed out on but is that a bad thing though? I had to counterfeit it, and I'm is it bad that I took a week break? Let's be honest.
I'll put this out there, man, because I understand what you're saying about that, and there's a little bit of burnout is a word that is fucking massively overused these days. But Stina and I are both constantly dealing with burnout, always, non-stop, because we really do care about the end result and everything that we create. We put so much passion into, especially me, just because it's my fucking brainchild, But I have things I need to accomplish, and like the game that I want to dedicate to my mother that has her music in it and everything like that. I'd like to get to the point where I can make that a reality, and then, but keeping in mind making the games that I'm making, I've also thought, well, I'm a fucking YouTuber. What would I want to play as a YouTuber, and how would I be able to make this react? So I've actually put in some features and little ways that, like, something that shits me about video games when you're trying to cover it on a YouTube channel is the game fucking talks over you the whole time.
Oh yeah.
It's like, you can't pause this dialogue because you skip the entire cutscene. I don't want to do that. Just allow me pause. So I've taken into account the things that shit me about, content creation, and I've actually designed my games to be played by YouTubers. So because there's so many YouTuber gamers, so many gamers that become YouTubers, I want my game to be played by people who can react to it, to get different emotional responses from it. As I said, heavy heart digital. You're gonna have a reaction. It's designed for that. So keeping that in mind, the burnout that we feel, the pain that we go through, the way that you can relate to characters, the way that, like, for example, Stardew Valley did a fantastic job at doing that, where people get really invested into the narrative of Stardew Valley, despite the fact that it was just some indie game that somehow managed to make waves, right? But it turned out that, like, it's a lot bigger than it was, and now the creator is going, fuck, if I knew, I would have done so much more. So, like, that's why 1.6 was so huge. But, like, what I'm trying to do is gauge and learn from all of the mistakes that people have made from everywhere. From like 10 years ago, the indie games were just, okay, let's make a really shitty, quick horror game in Unity that we can slap together from assets and make some sort of a monster in Blender, put that in there and get it to chase the character while you go and collect something to, maybe it's a fuse in a basement or something, and that was indie games for a very long time, up until, games started to branch out, and like games like Stardew Valley came out, where people are like, oh, we can make more than that? And indie developers started to realize, like, you could design 2D platformers that were challenging. You could design tycoons and farming sims. You could design more than just a visual novel. Or if you wanted to do a visual novel, you could do it in a way that is, unique and creative and expansive. Like Doki Doki Literature Club did it completely different to everyone else. So facing burnout in terms of video making and game creation, I think that it works in your favor to be taking a break, but at the same time working while you're taking a break. Because if you're not activating your mind, like if I'm burnt out and I'm like, I cannot bring myself to write a single line of dialogue today. Fuck this. I don't want to do it. I will watch YouTube and watch them Call Me Kevin or something, but then I will also have every second or third video be a video about pixel art class, or about like narrative design, or about a different engine and how to create lighting in this set engine and everything. So I'm always learning while I'm on break. Like Stina right now is currently in the middle of like a pottery class, as well as learning something.
Yeah,
like, tell about you, because we've talked enough about me.
It's a trainee thing. It's a 3 month trainee where I use my creative side, because I'm very.
Which is creative, Stine, right?
I'm creative Stine, yeah. creative_Stine. Yeah, because I like to paint and I like to do pottery, and I've it's a place where you can where you as a customer can come in and then paint on pottery, like bowls and cups and stuff. So, and then we smelt it in the ovens, and then as a new thing, I started to make pottery at home, so that it can also be painted on. because they wanted a more unique thing, because all the stuff they buy are mass produced, like they are like not in a machine, but they are, I don't know what it's called, but it's mass produced, and they want a more unique thing. So I've started making small like flags, and also like bowls that looks like animals. Like I've made a turtle.
You're very good at that.
Upside
You
down
and your cat
turtle.
obsession, Stina.
Huh?
I said you're very good at that. You and your cat obsession and turning cats into various objects.
Oh yes, I've made a lot of those. Yeah, basically, when I have a funny picture of my cat, I make that into I make that into clay. So I make a sculpture out of that. So I have a lot of fun with that, and I wish to do more of that in the future. Maybe make a small business out of it. Maybe. So yeah, I have a lot of fun
in the
with
background. Always.
Yeah.
Like, Stina's got her projects. I've got my projects.
Yeah.
See, I'm glad I'm not the only one then, because like I said, I write and I turn my stories and fan fictions into audio dramas and I put them on YouTube. From the 31st of October to the 31st of March this year, I wrote 108 chapters and turned them into audio dramas. And
Wow.
with voice actors as well, so I'm working with people and, you know, all that stuff. I was dead. By the time April came, I was done. I struggled to write. I didn't want to write any of the stories that I was writing. I was just like, I had my voice actors come up to me and go, hey, when are we getting lines for this? I had people ask, I was like, do you know what, I'm done. I can't be asked. I need a break. So I took 2 weeks from the beginning of April to the 14th of April. Oh, no, sorry, 15th of April. I took 2 weeks off. I didn't write anything. And I didn't edit any of my stories or anything like that. Luckily, I have a friend who also does the same thing and puts them on my channel, so I let him do it. And so the channel still got content. But within those 2 weeks, I was like, okay, I'm going to write some notes down of stories that I need to keep tabs on. But I'm also going to come up with 3 new stories that I can work on so my brain isn't completely fried. But I also abused those 2 weeks very well in the sense of those 2 weeks, I think I recorded like 6 episodes of my podcast in like 8 days, something like that. I just continuously recorded with people. So throughout April and the beginning of May, I didn't record anything for my podcast. I didn't need to. So I used my time wisely. But I just needed a break from writing and doing all that stuff. And it's just like, yeah, I think people need to realize that, yes, okay, you can become a content creator, you know, you can have your routines, your setups and all that stuff, but it is okay to be human. It is okay to step back, focus on yourself, you know, mentality, you know, family. You know, I have a son, I have a fiance, you know, all that jazz. It's okay to admit, hey, you know, hi, I'm human. I breathe oxygen too. I need to step back and focus on myself for 2 minutes. Cheers. You know, it's okay to do that sort of stuff.
I just had a random thought. But
That's dangerous.
We're all from a generation of YouTube where this was commonplace. But I haven't seen it in the past few years. What happened to sub for sub? Do you remember people running around just being like, hey man, sub for sub, bro?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember
it's gone.
that. Jesus Christ.
As far as I can tell, it is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a good thing though, because YouTube.
No. But like, do you remember that?
Yes,
it
bro. I
was
remember.
massive. Like it was like a plague.
Mm-hmm.
Sub for sub was like the biggest fucking hack for YouTube, and it was nothing but toxic for channels. And I'm just realizing now that I haven't had a single message say that to me in years. But at the start, everyone was doing it, and it was the worst.
I have seen a couple of comments on posts where people are like, oh, subscribe to me and I'll subscribe to you, blah, 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 but you can tell, like, they're fake accounts. Like, you click on their Facebook accounts, and, like, it was created 2 days ago.
Oh, do you get those people taking a screenshot of your channel and then they're like, put the subscription bell on, and then they're like, no, you sub me. It's like, fuck off. I'm not.
Like-
I don't know your content. Fuck off. Like, you don't
like,
have any content. Your whole content is sub for sub.
Like, yeah, so the Facebook group that we were both a part of, that had it bad as well. That had it so bad. People all the time were like, hey, this is my channel, subscribe to me, and I'll subscribe to you. And I'm like, you do realize that's not how it works, right? It's not a money exchange.
Like, we're posting to get an opinion. We're going, hey, this is my video. I don't know how to feel about it. What do you think? And then people are like, sub for sub? It's like, that's not an opinion. That's the worst. Stop. Just go away.
So there's a gaming YouTube Facebook page I'm attached to, and they actually have this really cool rule. I like it. So every single day at, I think it's 8 p.m. for me. So I don't know about the rest of the world, but it's 8 p.m. for me anyway. So at 8 p.m. there's a post for each day. So every day has a different post. And basically you can put your gaming videos in the comment section, the links with a description, and you have to know in your description how long the video is. And then if people want to, you can click on the video and watch it and stuff like that. But if you do watch it, you have to leave a comment, and you're not allowed to say, oh, nice job. That's the one thing you're not allowed to say. You have to say something other than, oh, nice video, nice job, whatever. And then if you do receive a comment on your video, and obviously you can kind of tell it's from this Facebook post, then it's requested that you look through the links that are there. Obviously, if you don't find anything, don't. But it's basically a case of, like, you know, kind of pushing people to, like, hey, go check out everyone else. And yeah, it's just a nice system. You know, there's no sub for sub. That's a banned. If anything gets mentioned of, oh, I've subscribed to you, how about you come check me out? That you get kicked instantly. The woman who runs it's like a proper hard ass, to be fair. She's proper like hardcore. So but it's nice because I've left a few links. I don't do it every day, I can't be asked for that, but I've left a few links and I've got a nice few comments. I'm like, all right, I'll check out who's there and whatnot. Sometimes I find people playing things like farming simulator and stuff that does not interest me, so I'm not gonna watch it. What would I? But I have found one or two channels.
You know, on Epic Games launcher right now, I believe you can get Farming Simulator 16 or whatever it is.
Oh, jeez. But like,
it's a free game at the moment.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I mean, I think I've seen videos on it that are really funny though, because you can play the game not as intended, and that kind of creates a lot of fun.
But yeah, so, like, you know, I have actually found, I think it's 3 YouTube.
Sorry, Farming Simulator 22. I'm looking at it now. It's free. It's a modern one. Sorry.
But I found like 3 YouTubers now that I've actually subscribed to because I've really liked how one of them was playing Final Fantasy, I want to say 10. But he was like, he was playing Final Fantasy 10, but he could only use the base weapons or something like that. He had a rule,
challenge,
you know,
runs.
Gotcha. Yeah, like challenge. And I was like, this is fucking awesome because he lost loads, and like he was just a really fun dude. I think he was I think he's from London or something. I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna subscribe to you. You're actually funny. I sat there for like 20 minutes watching a couple of his videos. I'm like, well, you've entertained me enough. I burnt away half an hour, so like, why not?
I left in the Discord a name of a YouTube channel that you should check out if you want to see people doing weird challenges, but also it's like a role play experience. Shout out to, I think it's called Arian.
I pronounced it Arian.
The dude is genuinely, he makes some really fucking good content. But like, yeah, he's sort of blown up, but it's one of those channels where you're just like straight out of the water. You'd be like, how did I not know of this? Because it's just, he plays games in a different way, you know, and I really appreciate the fact that he's like, the way he tells stories, like his storytelling is top notch. Because he's playing a game, but he will tell a story as he does it and create his own narrative. And that also inspired like my roleplay video of Road to Vostok. So that, yeah, the dude is straight up a genius when it comes to like, especially his Project Zomboid videos. I really like those.
So a question for the pair of you, and you obviously have your own opinions, so I'm intrigued. If you had to pick like your top 10 games of all time, what would your list be?
Top 10. Wow.
I like that. Top 10.
Yeah, I can definitely do a top 5. which would be Subnautica, Dead Rising 2, let's see, Raft, GTA series. Let's just say that.
Fair.
And I don't know, Borderlands. Yeah. Was that 4 or 5? Yeah.
I would have to say Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, because they knew how to make a linear story not feel linear.
Fair. Good choice.
I definitely feel like they lost their way in the recent times. I don't mind the open world games, but I would say that they're Zelda themed games, but not Zelda games in my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
So I like that. I like Majora's Mask as well, almost equally. I feel like those go back to back in terms of like they should be on the same shelf. So probably that for number one. I love the Mass Effect and Dragon Age series. I would also like have those tied for second place. I like Loop Hero for an indie game. It's incredibly addictive. I would play that for 1 billion hours. As a matter of fact, I probably have. Door Kickers 1 and 2. Some of the most played games I've ever done, as well as RimWorld is very good. Baldur's Gate 3 has to be in there, definitely. I would say Pavlov in VR, because it's the most realistic gun simulation I've ever seen in my life, and I just love toying around with the guns. I'm probably going to make a video on that at some point. Jesus, there's so many, so many that I like absolutely adore that I want to put in here, but I would say even like I would say some of the Sims, like the Sims 3 Pets on Xbox 360, specifically because that was just a fantastic game all around. And I'd say when it comes to the Sims games, even Playboy the Mansion I'll put into one of my favorite games. And the reason for that is they made a Sims style game. They put in that, you know, you got to make a business tycoon style thing where you have to actually go and get to know people and introduce people to each other to make the content better and all that sort of stuff, because you needed a cover shoot, a pictorial, essays and whatever else to make the magazine. But genuinely, I think that one of the biggest mishaps in human history for video games would be passing up on Playboy the Mansion as a video game as a whole. It does have its downsides, don't get me wrong, and it is very smutty, but the thing is, the gameplay itself, at its core, has a lot going for it, and if The Sims could learn from that to make it a little bit more interesting, is by making like a DLC or something that could turn The Sims into a tycoon similar to Playboy the Mansion, and I think that would work out really, really well. They had a winning formula there, but they completely fucked it by not making a sequel. And I think some of my other favorite games, Jesus, this is really difficult, man. I've got so many. It's too hard of a question. I said pass. Sudeki on original Xbox, the Godfather 2 on Xbox 360, XCOM, yeah. XCOM 2, fuck. There's just so many. I love games. That's it. Like I just absolutely love games. I can't really. There is no top 10. There's so many that are just equal in my eyes.
Yeah, that's fair.
For one reason or another.
Yeah, that's one question that stumps a lot of people. It's either like, you know, top 10 favorite movies or top 10 favorite games. Everyone's like,
Another overlooked gem, The Warriors by Rockstar. The Warriors, based on the movie. Very good 3D beat 'em up.
Don't know it.
And once you beat the game, you get to unlock an arcade cabinet, which turns it into a 2D beat 'em up. It's fucking awesome.
I don't think I'd better do top 10 in the sense that, I don't know, see, because I get called very generic when it comes to my favorite games. I get called very basic, apparently.
That's all right. You can tell us.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So, Kingdom Hearts series.
Basic. No, I'm sorry.
It's true. It is very basic, but like I love the whole idea behind that. It was just originally a Final Fantasy Disney crossover, but now it's so much more than that. And Kingdom Hearts 4's gonna be out at some point, question mark, and I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so Kingdom Hearts, I like the Infamous series, but I'm one of these sucklers that I kind of like the idea of, like, you know, having so much power in your hand. Do you be good or bad? That's
That was
what
like
Infamous is all about.
PlayStation, wasn't it?
So
PlayStation,
yeah,
you jump around kind of like a superhero.
yeah. So
Yeah, I know the game. Yeah.
yeah. It goes with karma choices. So, like, there's certain points in the game where you have an option to do the good thing or do the bad thing, and sometimes it's minor, like effects. So, you know, for example, you have to break into a building. Do you sneak in and, you know, just start killing people, or do you ram a gigantic fucking car that's loaded with explosives into the front door? Or it's like massively changes the story. Like in number 1, you've got the bad guy's got 6 doctors that could cure a plague that's going around hanging off one side of the building, or the girl that you deem the love of your life hanging off the other side. He drops both of them. You can only save one. You know, so if you save the doctors, obviously plague gets cured. If you save the woman, then the doctors die. So it's like that sort of thing.
No, I get you.
Kingdom Hearts, Infamous. I'm a sucker for Pokemon. I kind of was raised on
Oh
Pokemon.
yeah, I didn't even mention Pokemon, but fuck yeah, Pokemon. I
haven't played it.
love Pokemon. Or at least
My 5-year-old son is obsessed with Pokemon, and he's got Pokemon posters, toys. He watches the show and all sorts of stuff, and I absolutely love it that my son's a little geek for Pokemon. It's great.
I have a foily Dark Charizard card that has not been minted yet, but it would probably be worth about $250. It's sitting across from me right now.
Nice.
Jesus.
I love Final Fantasy, but I think one of my favorite Final Fantasy games is Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus.
Okay.
Which is about Vincent. So he's now the main character in the game. I think that's a very cool. It also explored a lot of like lore that doesn't really get touched upon in Final Fantasy VII. So I think that's a very under talked about game. I have to use my brain now. Hang on, let me check my. Oh, I'm a big sucker for Far Cry. I don't know why, but the Far Cry series.
That's all right.
Far
They
Cry
went downhill though.
define downhill.
I would say they strayed away from realism and went into Ubisoft mode.
Yeah, Ubisoft. The annoying part about Ubisoft, right? is they
Ubisoft,
have
the game that makes itself the same, except one is third person, the other one is first person, and the other one everyone forgets.
Well, see, here's the issue of Ubisoft. They have games that prove they can make good games. There are games out there. Yeah, that they fuck it. So we have the likes of Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. We have the likes of Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4. You know, we have proof that Ubisoft can make really good games. I'll even throw in things like The Crew. I actually really enjoyed the first one. For Honor was decent until they ruined it. Things like this, and now it's just like
that was Ubisoft, was it? For Honor.
Yeah,
that's very out of left field for them.
Watch Dogs was also good.
Yeah, Watch Dogs are good. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't like Legion though. It was a bit finicky.
I think the only thing I liked about Legion was the fact that they had an Assassin's Creed character in it.
Yeah,
one of the DLC characters was officially an assassin, and her mission was.
I didn't know how it worked, and I didn't realize.
I still don't know how it works. You know,
I didn't
played
realize
the game.
The RNG, like the random generation of the game, sort of figures out like what your starting weapon is and stuff. And like when I first booted up the game, I had a person who had a non-lethal gun, and but I thought that they just completely got rid of like the lethal side of it, not realizing that just so happens to be the character that randomly generated for me. So my first experience with it was, are you serious? You're going to put me on baby mode? So I still have the game. I just don't have it downloaded to Xbox anymore. But it was interesting to see next gen graphics on the Series X. So that's what I used it for. Seeing like ray tracing and shit.
So is that your main console? Is it the Xbox?
I use the Xbox Series X, and I use my PC, and I've also got a Nintendo Switch and a Oculus Rift S.
Yeah,
Those are the ones that I got plugged in.
I only play on PC, so.
Oh, I actually have some news for Stina really quick. I have a AV to HDMI converter now, so I can actually play my original Xbox games through my game capture. So hopefully I'll be able to actually play some on the channel soon.
Oh, you mentioned that. I have officially found a way, because the PS3 isn't able to connect OBS. I officially found a way to make it connect OBS. When I come back to gaming next week, I'm officially playing an old PS3 game for the first time on my channel. I'm so psyched. So psyched. Nice. I was like, I can play old PS3 games. That's awesome. Question, how is recording with the Oculus Rift? Because I love VR. I had a PlayStation VR. But that got sold, and I'm like, do I get an Oculus?
If you've got a decent enough computer, yeah. If not, maybe get a wireless one.
Fair enough.
Recording with it can be a bitch, because it depends on if you're doing Steam VR or if you're running it through Meta or Oculus Meta or whatever the fuck it's called now. It really depends, because I think it's Meta Quest Link now, even though I don't have a Quest. Once you put the headset on, you can see what's happening on the screen. You could either choose OBS to do screen capture, so it just captures your desktop, or you could do, sometimes you can capture the game itself, which is not necessarily recommended, and you will have to figure out whether or not that's going to be your left eye or your right eye that it captures. Or you could download something called Oculus Mirror, and the Oculus Mirror will capture your gameplay, and then you can use your OBS to capture the Oculus Mirror. But it really depends on the game, and it is very finicky, and it's annoying as shit to set up. Not to put you off it. It is incredibly rewarding, but also every now and then take the headset off to look at the screen, because sometimes it just records black.
It
did that to me during my Half-Life Alyx series, and I had to go back to a previous save to make up for that. By that I mean I recorded like almost an entire episode of just black.
Right.
Jesus.
So I had to go I think that was early on, and I had to play all the way up to where I was. Luckily, I think it was only on chapter 3, but I had to do the first 2 chapters again to get to that stage. I think, Stina, you might remember that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I didn't record myself doing that, but I was just like, all right, cool. I'm already fucked. I'm already exhausted. I've got physical problems. I can't stand up for too much longer today.
Your back
I'm only going to record for an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty punishing when you discover that. But some games I wouldn't mind recommending on Oculus would be Half-Life Alyx and Arizona Sunshine, and then obviously Pavlov.
Yeah, cool.
If you like shooters at least, and then Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners is good too.
Well, see, I've played Saints and Sinners because on my first gaming channel before that got ruined, I had a PlayStation VR, and I played quite a few decent games on there. And I don't know, I just love the fact that I could sit there and, I could do VR and everything. One of the games required me to stand, but that was fine. And also I got laughed at a lot because my girlfriend at the time would sit in the same room as me and laugh at me, because apparently I looked really weird dancing around the living room.
That's one of my favorite things is looking at the footage back without the gameplay and sounds, and you just see some idiot going wandering around the room, just subtly making strange things and then getting jump scared by absolutely nothing. It's brilliant. I love watching. If you take the footage out of context, it is brilliant.
Well, I mean, if you ever need a video real quick, you'd always just make a compilation of you dancing around in VR.
We already have plans to do that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to
just out of context VR content. It's just me looking like an idiot. Yeah, no, that's already a video idea.
But I kind of want to I kind of want to get back into VR. I really enjoy it, and I was like, I do.
I mean,
do
I'll
sit
play
there.
it with you if you do. There's a few games I wouldn't mind playing multiplayer on VR, to be honest. Like there's a Star Trek game that I've been tempted to buy, but I don't know if anyone plays anymore. But if you're into geeky stuff and nerdy shit, I'm sure you'd be into Star Trek.
Yeah, it's just a case of like I keep trying to find people I can ask, like, how is the Oculus? Because I'd want to record with it and things like this. So yeah, that's why I asked, because I thought like maybe
I could take you step by step if you needed. In all honesty, if you're gonna have like a legit setup and you just need something to do, people to play with, like Helldivers VR, any of that. I mean, like you'd known me for years now, so yeah, go for it. As a matter of fact, I have a habit of just playing with people that are fans of the channel. Look at Stina; she's my editor now. We have Nimble Monster, who I reached out because he likes XCOM, and now he's a silent member of the channel. But it's like basically like, I do editings for him, and every now and then we play games together and stuff like that. But like, yeah, just Jube made some fan art for Traveler's Rest, because our channel introduced her to a game, and she made some fan art for it, and now I've reached out to her. I introduced her to Door Kickers 2, and we've been playing that together, and like reaching out to fans and gaming with fans is like literally what I've been doing since I started. Because like, I mean, I can't reach everyone, but for those that I feel like I can get along with, then I make the extra effort. Because I mean, cool. I'm just a dude. Again, I never want anyone to look at my channel and be like, "Oh wow, what a hero! I want to be like him." No, you don't. If, as a matter of fact, I would highly advise to do everything to avoid becoming like me. I am not a person you want to become, but the person I am now is a lot better than the person I used to be, and I feel like I'm in a comfortable state now that at least I'm, competent enough as a friend or as someone knowledgeable enough to help other people through their lives, which I've already done just by talking to them, having an open ear, giving advice, whatever. But also just people need, to communicate. People need, and it's really hard to find people that you want to collaborate with as well, because, well, for the most part, it's either, I just want to do this because it will get views, or I want to do this just because of X, Y, Z, rather than it just being like out of pure friendship. If it's out of pure friendship, I'm more than happy to do anything. But if it's just specifically like, this is really popular right now and you did a video on this and that's really popular, then we should team up and do that. I'm like, no, I'm not interested. Because I don't care about views. I'm not a clout chaser. I'm more interested in friendship. But I also don't have a lot of time for people, so it's more like, if it works out and the schedule's aligned, then all good. Otherwise, we'll try to figure it out later.
Yeah, I don't agree with the whole clout chasing thing, because like, one of the stories that I wrote was an X-Men story, and I uploaded it, and it got like 400 something views or something, which is pretty good for that channel. And I'm sat there kind of like, how the is this done so good? I realized that I uploaded it the same week the last episode of X-Men 97 came out. So I was like, okay. Well, I mean, it did well. I'm not going to complain, but like, I did not mean to align that at all. I was like, right, I need to drop something. I have this X-Men story. I'll drop it 48 hours before.
Sometimes it aligns like that. Other times it's a little annoying. I'm not going to lie. The video that Stina found me on has more views now, which is annoying because at one point Markiplier made a reference to when he made his Tasteful Nudes calendar, and when he made that, people started looking for it again, and that led them to my video. And I hate that video with a passion, and I even have it in the title, Watch Something Else.
And also you play you play Getting Over It as well in that video.
Yeah. And raging at it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like that early version of myself. I mean, if you can't look at the older version of yourself and want to punch it in the face, then you haven't grown as a person. You need to look at your past self and want to hit that thing. Yeah, because that person was dumber than the person you are now. That person was more ignorant than the person you are now. That person had less growth than the person you are now. That person is cringier than the person you are now. So, like, especially as a content creator, like the biggest hurdle is getting over yourself. You have to not just be, egotistical or outrageous or whatever fucking personality you want to float on the internet, but you also have to, like, take some humility, and also it doesn't matter if it sucks, because it's gonna. You started a YouTube channel. Do you have any experience in doing XYZ? If not, then it's gonna suck. But that's how you learn. That's why we haven't deleted all of the videos that the channel started with, is because that was our beginnings. That's how we. So people are gonna look back and be like, "Wow, this sucked," and look at where they are now. That sort of thing. They're gonna see the growth. If you get rid of the growth, you get rid of the personality and how A became B,
I remember you being super cringy when I first met you. Like, you've done a lot of growing up just these past. Like, how long have we known each other?
I think YouTube has evolved 18? As well. It's less oriented, like, over the top shouting at things. Now it's a bit more level headed. Like, you can sort of just tone it down. You don't have to scream 24/7. But the annoying thing is, some people think that I am always putting it on, but I'm not. It's my microphone now sits further away from me than it used to. It used to be right under my chin. And we used to get a lot of distortion from that as well, because I had a cheaper mic, but now I've got a Blue Yeti Nano. So I've got a further away from me, and I just naturally, if as if talking to a phone, if it falls on loudspeaker or something, the further it is away from you, the louder your voice gets. And I naturally have a loud voice always. So I'm just constantly loud and in your face. And that's, to other people, like, eccentric and boisterous and whatever else, and I'm just like, no, I'm just this way. I, like, when I'm playing games on my own, there's no difference between me streaming. Like, if you see me streaming outside of me talking to the chat, there's no difference between that and me not streaming. I am that person, except there's a couple more things to celebrate, like someone donates, or I get raided, or I accomplish a feat or something that is more important if I'm streaming. That's the only things that I celebrate more. But the natural personality that I have while I'm streaming is just me. Just the same as I am now. I talk over people. I'm constantly on edge, just, I gotta tell people about things. And that's just always my personality. I mean, I'm unmedicated, so it's very hard to filter me, if that makes sense. So
back in, I think it was September of last year, I actually lost my gaming channel. My original Tiger gaming channel got deleted. I got hacked. My Google account got hacked. Whoever hacked it made it so my 2-step verification was completely changed. I was nowhere. I tried talking to Google. I tried talking to, I went leaps and bounds trying to get this Google account back. Did not work. So I was like, okay, well, let's see if I can get my YouTube accounts back at least, because I had a couple under that Gmail. So tried talking to YouTube. They were like, sorry, we can't help you. I'm like, well, fuck you then. So I spent like a good couple of days like, fuck, I want to do gaming, but now I've got to start all over again. I've lost all those good videos and all this stuff. I was 2 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers, and I had the views as well. So like, I was close to, doing something with it. It's gone. It deleted. Like, whoever hacked it made it so I don't know if they deleted themselves, or I don't know how they did it, but the channel's gone. It no longer exists. I was like, oh fuck. Like, even if I did get my email,
do you know who
back,
it was? Was it a hater?
Nope.
Or?
I have no idea. To this day, I've still not gone back into that Gmail account. But whoever did, that YouTube account no longer exists. They deleted it. So even if I did get the email back in, that YouTube account is gone. That's deleted. There's no evidence of it even existing. So for days on end, I was sat here
YouTube don't
racking.
even restore it because it's happened. I think it happened to the Corridor crew recently, where their account got hacked and some of their shit got deleted. But YouTube was able to restore it. But I guess they were a bigger channel.
Yeah. So
They're like, they matter. You don't. You know.
Yeah.
That's kind of how YouTube feels when you're a small creator.
Yeah. So I sat here for days on end racking my brain, but then I can't remember what I was watching, but just I paused it. I had this like epiphany. I was like, hang on a minute, I gotta start again. And I flipped on the coin. I was like, I'm not gonna say this is, but I get to start again because my channel started, and I don't know if anyone's ever done this, but PlayStation and I believe Xbox can as well. You can record using your console. You don't need to use PCs and stuff. It's better to do that, but the consoles can record. And my channel started with me having to limit myself to 59 minutes and 59 seconds, because as soon as you hit an hour, it stops recording, just stops automatically. And the amount of footage I've lost from doing that's unreal. I would use my first ever 50 videos, I used a headset as my microphone, stuff like this. And then over the course of that channel, I learned OBS, a capture card, I got myself a better mic and all that jazz. So when I lost this channel and I panicked and then the coin flipped, I was like, I got to start from the beginning. I get to replay some of my favorite games. I get to do it better. My commentary will be better. And I get to start with my setup I've got now, with a good microphone, with a decent capture card, with all this stuff. So I flipped it. I was like, hang on, I don't have all that cringy stuff in the back anymore. I can make new cringy stuff, but from the get-go. So I was able to start again and rework myself in a sense of my commentary was better. It was really annoying because of the way that my channel was beforehand. I played Naruto Shippuden Ninja Storm 2, I think, something like that, and part 3 ended with me playing as Naruto, running towards a bad guy. Part 4 started six fights later, 2 chapters later, because of just the way it got scrambled, and because of the way that I was editing and stuff, it just something happened to the files way back when. So now I'm better in myself. My editing skills are decent, my recording setup's better, so I was like, I'll just start again. Cool. So I took that mentality. I took that as a way of
start again. I'd do something completely different.
But saying that, though, there's another thing as well, because there were videos on there from, I don't talk to people anymore that collabed with me that I fell out with. My ex-partner was on there and things like that. And it was almost like, I don't know, the universe, God, whatever the hell you believe in, was almost like, hey, Ty, you wanna? Because at the time, granted, I sat there thinking,
you don't have to do a cleanup job. Someone did it for you.
Yeah, no, honestly, right? Because for weeks on end, I was sat there thinking to myself, I'm not liking what I'm doing.
Yeah.
For weeks, I was like, I'm not liking this. I don't like my channel, and then all of a sudden, I lose it. So it's almost
that's the thing. You need to have fun, otherwise it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So if you're already losing the ambition and the gumption to go, hey, I want to keep doing this, and then all of a sudden shit turns sideways, maybe that is the new beginning for you. So yeah, and I can completely understand that.
So now I'm back at I've only got 18 subscribers, something like that. I'm still in double digits. Things like this, I've had to start again, which is fine, but I get to, and like I said just a minute ago, I've now got a way I can play PS3 games properly and things like this, so I can go back to nostalgia and I can play games that I played as a kid and things, so I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I mean, sometimes having your old self be present is good. Sometimes it's cringy, but in other ways you can use it as a motivation to push yourself and change it.
As I said, man, if you wanted to play Helldivers at some point, I'm more than happy to do that. And if I upload it on my channel, you always get a shout out, and I'd swing some people your way. Just tell them your story, man. Let them know that you lost your channel, you're just having to start from scratch and it fucking sucks, so here's some attention. I'm more than happy to do that.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, I can message you now, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so final question, because we've been at this for a very long time.
Yeah.
Final question. If you could give any advice to someone who wanted to be, in similar situations to you guys, content creators, editors, start making their own little indie companies and stuff, what sort of advice do you think you guys could give to the inspired people?
I'll let Stina cover this first, and then I'll speak afterwards.
Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind is like, have fun with it and don't take yourself too seriously. And don't overwork yourself. That's what I'm thinking of right now. Yeah.
I think if you're passionate about something, you should pursue it. Along the lines with what Stina said, is don't take yourself too seriously, but at the same time, be realistic. Take criticism, be open to criticism, and you don't have to change for anyone. Make the content that you want to make. If you want to be someone who chases the cloud or whatever, and you're looking to make a quick buck or something, there are better ways to do that, like getting a job. If you want to be a YouTuber and you want to just make videos for entertainment, and you're an entertainer and you want to be funny, or you want to show people what you're good at, and if you're a creative artist or a musician or anything, and you have some skills that you would like to just show off to the world, then be humble, show them your process, and just be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your audience. And take everything with a grain of salt. Take it all to heart with humility. So take the piss out of yourself whenever you can, but don't let anyone get you down. There is 100% that you are going to get hate. There is 100% that you are going to face turmoil within your technology, within your art style. You're going to look at your own videos and you're going to hate it. That is a part of the process. Make peace with that. So what I would say is I'm fucking 6 years going, and we haven't reached 1,000 subscribers. My 5-year anniversary video, it mentions that we only have a mere certain amount of people there, and we're just like, why? We create quality content, and we are like some of the videos that we create are like the levels of like Markiplier or Jacksepticeye or any of that sort of stuff. Like, we're in the same vein, but we're a smaller channel. We don't get the platform. We don't have the sponsorships. We don't have any of those things, awarded to us that YouTube would do. Although the algorithm sometimes favors us, it doesn't do it to the degree that would be viable to have it as a permanent financial business strategy. So what I would say, don't fucking try to make money on YouTube. It is shit. Twitch is better. If you're going to be streaming some stuff, there's many different avenues you can go down in Twitch. And so if you want to start content creation, you can grow on Twitch and get paid faster on Twitch. But I would say YouTube is great for showing off your creativity. Twitch is great for growing a community. So take that with a grain of salt. I don't know about TikTok. I'm not really into that sort of shit. But we're on it. We just don't care. But just don't take yourself too seriously. And just love the process, because it will grind at you and you will need a break. But if you're passionate enough and you want to just start out, you will find a way. You always will. There is nothing stopping you outside of your... Well, I mean, you can make videos on your phone now. You can edit videos on your phone. So there's nothing stopping you from doing it. So if you want to do it, just do it. It's anything that you apply yourself to, you'll see results. Even if the results are not to your standard, just keep working at it, and eventually you'll get to the point where you're good enough to be able to do that. No one starts out as a brilliant genius. They can't just like create a diamond from a turd. A turd is always going to be a turd, no matter how much you polish it. So at the very beginning, we are all inexperienced turds. And I've polished this turd so much that finally a diamond has emerged. That's only because there was coal in the turds, because I was eating coal, because I've been a bad boy and Santa's been giving me coal. But seriously, just start your journey and see what you do. Get your friends in on it. Have fun. Don't be forceful. And by that I mean, don't just be like, "Hey, collaborate! Come on, sub for sub." Yeah, don't do that sort of shit, because no one likes you. You'll get enemies really quick. Also, just pay in mind, asking people to subscribe to your channel is going to be the most difficult thing in all of the process because A, it's embarrassing. B, no one cares. That's it.
That's the truth. Yeah.
Seriously, if you're just like, can you please just subscribe to my channel? People will be like, dude, I'm not going to do it because you asked.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah. So just grow naturally. Just whatever you do.
I don't think I've asked people to subscribe. On my story videos, I don't mention it. On my reaction,
you can in your videos. I mean, like, don't just like private DM people and just be like, "Hey, man, can you fucking subscribe? I just need you to subscribe, man. I'm itching for that fix." we all know people that do that, though. You know.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, that's facts.
So yeah, it makes more enemies than anything. And I distance myself from people who are begging for subscription. If people have good content and they suggest it to me, then I'll have a look at it, and if I like it, I'll subscribe. If I don't, I'll leave some constructive criticism, but it doesn't mean you have to be in my subscription feed. Either way, you can still leave a like and give them a comment, and that will help their channel either way. So just help each other, help each other grow.
No, that's it. All right then, guys. So as we close up, this is your chance to kind of shout out whatever you want to shout out. It can be, your friends, yourself, your own stuff, whatever the case may be. The stage is yours. So yeah, shout out whatever you want to shout out.
Look up Scarabic Enterprises anywhere and everywhere. Mainly Patreon. Give us money. I want money. Stina?
What he said? What he said?
I love that. He's like, give us money. Perfect silence. What he said.
Well, the thing is, we're actually putting it to use and we prove where the finances are going. You will not find that anywhere else because everyone else is a dodgy cunt.
That's very true. Fair enough.
That's the tea.
Stina's looking to sell some of her artwork at some point in time. So if you wanted to tune into Scarabic Enterprises and keep an eye on our Patreon, you can also do that for free. And if you wanted to support us, it only costs $1. And not just that, but Stina eventually will have a corner on our Patreon where she'll be selling her wares when she gets to the stage where she's comfortable enough with her artwork to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So not just that, but we'll do some giveaways here and there. But I can't say anything beyond that scope at the moment because I also don't remember the terms and conditions for said thing. You can't ask for. There's a rule. I can't remember where it is, but there's a rule somewhere. It's either on YouTube, Twitch, or Patreon or something. But you can't ask people for money and then give them an incentive. So I'm not going to give you an incentive. I'll say we deliver what we deliver. There's possibly going to be some giveaways at some point unrelated to anything, but they'll be on the channel itself, not through Patreon. But people through Patreon will probably find out about it first. But that doesn't mean that you'll necessarily win a raffle or anything. So there's no incentives there. I have legally covered myself. All right, cool. Subscribe.
Done. All right then, guys, thank you everyone for tuning in. Of course, go check out, my lovely guests. This was our first episode with 2 people,
and 4 nipples.
If this seemed to have worked, maybe I could have 2 guests on again. Hell, maybe in a couple months I could have these 2 return and we could chat more, I'm sure. Well, I don't know about Stina because she seems to be the more what's the word I'm looking for? Editorial one, so she might be more busy than Scarab sometimes. But anyway, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're listening on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify if you're listening on Spotify. Of course, I have to shout out the Zero Hero podcast and If You Give a Dad a podcast because they are our buddying podcast, and I've had them on several times, so make sure you go check them out. And until next time, guys, thank you all for listening. I love you all, and I shall see you in the next one.
This podcast is a production of the 3 Ranger Bros Studios, in association with Zio to Hero, the podcast.